best way to start is just to ask how you're doing right now. Like, what's the latest update on your situation and when you think you might be able to come back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, how's your arm feeling?
I'm feeling good. No pain now. It's just kind of a waiting game, and Doc said I've been had a schedule and just been drinking lots of milk.
Yeah. When do you have a date when you'd like to maybe come back, or what's kind of a realistic?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just kind of taking it day by day, but I got a goal set in my mind when I think I'll be ready, but I'm hoping to mid to late January.
Mm-hmm. What's like have they given you like worst case scenario for this, like how things look right now, like a best and a worst kind of situation, or
no, not to. Right now, I'm just taking it day by day, and I get X-rays every 2 weeks. So the last 2 X-rays have been really good, and Doc's been really happy with that. So they say 6 to 8 weeks before I get the brace off, and then rehab and getting my conditioning back to get in game shape. So.
And I talked to you about this before, but not on camera. I was just curious if you could talk about what are some of the just weird things you've had to deal with having one arm kind of out of commission. I mean, you mentioned like you had to sleep in a rocking chair for a little bit. Is that something you still have to do, or what are some of the things people don't maybe think about that you got to do when you're treating one of these things?
Well, people take for granted having 2 arms, but I mean, some of the little things like at first I had to sit in a lazy boy for quite a while. Still am sleeping in there just to make sure the bone's healing properly with the kind of brace that I have. But anything from eating to writing notes in class and stuff like that. So.
Have you been able to finally? I remember you were having trouble sleeping early on. Is it something that's not as big of a deal now? Are you used to that kind of?
Yeah, no. I mean, at first the painkillers kind of knocked me out cold for sleep, but now with no pain, I have no trouble sleeping at night.
And one thing I was curious about is I know you had kind of stayed extra years in juniors because you wanted to be ready to do well your first year. I mean, was that aspect of this frustrating that you'd kind of sacrificed a little bit, getting here maybe later than you could have, and something like this happened, or have you kind of dealt with that part of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's part of the game. Injuries happen, and I just got to keep a positive attitude and be ready when I come back. I mean, that's all I can control is the bone's going to heal as it does, but I got to make sure that I'm in the best shape and hopefully get the opportunity when I get back to make an impact in the lineup.
That's curious too. Can you do anything yet for physically to kind of stay in shape? Are you able to do any kind of exercise right now?
I got to wait a couple more weeks just till I can put the brace on and off myself to be able to start riding the bike but just watching what I eat to stay slender.
Is it kind of a weird feeling in that regard? Because you're used to being an athlete, I'm sure you're used to working out a lot and stuff. Is it kind of a strange feeling to not be doing that stuff?
Yeah, you go from 110 to 0. I mean, when you not practicing every day, not working out, but it's just something you got to deal with.
And I was curious too, is obviously it's been a couple of weeks now, so it's probably good to ask about now. Just because what was kind of going through your mind at the time? I mean, when this all happened, what did you kind of feel, or what were you aware of? So, I mean, what was kind of just the mindset at the time?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little scared at first. Not too sure what the injury was when it was on the ice. A couple things happened, and I was very fortunate that it wasn't my head or my neck or my shoulder, and bones heal at the end of the day. And I was fortunate that it just is my arm, and I'm going to heal 100% of this, and I'll be back before you know it.
It's got to be a weird sensation, not the injury part, but just the fact that, it's a play where you score a goal and everybody's all excited, and all of a sudden you look down there and there's somebody laying on the ice. I mean, from your end, it had to be a weird experience too. I mean, have you ever had that kind of thing happen before where you do something big like that and get hurt on the play? I mean, that's kind of strange.
That was a first for me for sure. Yeah. I mean, it was weird when I went by him. When I passed it over, I knew I was going to the boards, but I wanted to hear the horn at the same time. So, I mean, the guys came over and Dave grabbed my arm and I said, I don't think I can get up right now. So that's when I knew something was wrong.
And were you kind of aware of just how quiet the whole rink was at the time, or were you like not even aware of anything?
I think I was in a little bit of shock just because of what happened, but yeah.
I guess the other thing I noticed that night was, I know your dad's kind of got a busy schedule, so he can't come to a lot of your games, but I saw he was here that night. How much did that help to have him around, when you're going through something like that, as opposed to if it had been one of those nights where his NHL job had kept him, thousands of miles away maybe?
Yeah, I mean, kind of wish I played all 60 minutes, but he saw 18 seconds of my game. But
saw you score a goal too.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, my family's important to me, and they were there for my sport, so it was nice to have them.
And I guess the only other thing I was curious about was what have you kind of learned about maybe yourself from going through this so far? I mean, is there anything you think will help you down the road from this experience? Or
I mean, injuries are always tough, but when you're out of the lineup, you realize how much you love the game and being around the guys, and I think that's been big thing for me is just staying positive, being at the rink, and I think that's helping my healing.
Have you tried to find any ways to kind of contribute in whatever way you can, like during the games that can help or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, just being around the guys, having a positive attitude in the room, and encouraging guys, talking to guys. I think it not only helps me but helps them as well.
Well, thanks, man.